Greetings, Jivans. Very good morning to you. So I think this is my last live from Kanhangad because I'm leaving in some moments from here. I think in an hour I'm leaving from here. So I thought I'll just cover this place, which is connected to Kanhangad Bhagwan Nityananda Ashram. And this place, I'm right now in the place of Padiyar Swami'S. He was a direct disciple of Bhagwan Nityananda. One second. Yes, I hope you are able to hear me right. No rain here. So this place is actually of Padiyar Swami, and this is his house here. I'm at his house. And this is where he lived for many years. Bhagwan Nityananda had asked him to come here to this place and remain here for the rest of his life, serving all the devotees who come here. So the basic work of Swamiji was, Padiyar Swami was to just serve people, whoever came here. He used to just talk to them, speak to them, that's all. Offer them tea, coffee and all that stuff. So this is that place in Kanhangad. And that's the house. So he lived here. So Bhagwan had asked him to go and stay here only till his last, and he stayed here. And he gave Darshan to all the devotees who came here. His name was Padiyar Swami. And yesterday I was mentioning about, I'll show you his Samadhi also is here. In this compound only his Samadhi also is there. Okay. So I think we'll go to the Samadhi first. And this is the same person I was talking yesterday in my walk. I just came walking from there. In whose house I had stayed. Padiyar Swami's house originally is he's from Udupi. So his family is still living there and they own a printing press and all that. So that is the same place I had been, and I had the opportunity of living in his room for a whole day and night. They had given me Padiyar Swami's room only. The bed of, I slept, fortunate, And later I realized it was his. So it is the same person. And this is in Kanhangad. This is in a place called Kusharlagar. It is just 1 kilometer away from the ashram, towards the seashore, towards the beach. And yeah, we are walking here now. So what I just showed you, that is the house. If you see the long way, it's a very isolated place, and you can see full of green. And it has got all the farms, plantains, all the fruit, mangoes, chiku, jackfruits, coconuts. You can see all the coconut plantations and all that. This is a huge space in the compound, and that is the home there. That is the house. So I'll take you into the house also. This is one place I very often come and just relax. And this is the place where Ganpati ji also lives, and he's the caretaker of this house now. And from this side is the entry, and if you go straight, there is beach there, around 2 kilometers from here. And this side, if you go from this gate outside, is that round table which we used to talk about. Bhagwan Nityananda used to sit near the round table there. This is a house behind that only. That's a temple, Ayyappa temple. In that compound only, while going, I'll show it that to you, that round table. He used to sit there and talk to people. He used to give a live telecast of what's happening in London. And next day, all the news used to appear. And so this is all part of Padiyar Swami's house only. I'm just taking you to his Samadhi. This is the last live I will be doing from Kanhangad because I'm leaving in an hour from here. So I thought I'll cover this place. Yesterday's live I was supposed to do from here, but since it was raining I couldn't come here. It's a very peaceful place, you see. So I wanted to actually get us all together in silence in this place. Here it is a little noisy. Inside the house there is no noise at all. So that session which I was talking about silence, I'll be doing it from home once I reach there, because I need completely pin drop silence. And so this is the Samadhi. This is the Samadhi of Padiyar Swamiji. Yesterday was Guru Purnima, so many of his devotees had come. His name was Sadanand Swami. They called him later Padiyar Swami. his family and all had come here yesterday, and they come once in a while because his original house is in Udupi. So this is his Samadhi. So as per the instruction of Bhagwan Nityananda, he spent all his rest of his life in this place only, just attending to the devotees, because it was Bhagwan's order, whoever comes to you, serve them, that's all. And he told Padiyar Swami, him, not to do any sadhana. He said, you don't have to do any sadhana, you just serve people, because you are a Raj Yogi and you're done with. That's all that you need to do. And as per his instructions, he used to always take care of whoever devotees came here, and that pratha still goes on. Like the house is handed over now, and Ganapati ji is actually taking care of this place. He is living here. So anybody who comes to the ashram here, if they wish to come, they come here. Most of the people do not know about Padiyar Swami also, because his mention is not there anywhere. So only people who know from the internal circle of internal disciples of Bhagwan Nityananda, they come here. So that's his Samadhi. So anytime you wish to come here, you can, because this does not come under the ashram. So there is no mention of this in the ashram, under that trust board which is there. So if you need information on this place, or you wish to come here, anytime you are visiting to Kanhangad, you can contact me, or Ganapati is there, he will bring you here, there's no problem. You can spend a lot of time here, you can meditate, his house is here, that's the house there. It's a very peaceful place, very, very peaceful place. You can see the birds chirping and all that. This is typical Kerala, the ancient Kerala. The house also you can see, this is all the ancient Kerala. That's the entrance from where we came. That's a well. This is the house. Previously, I used to not go to the ashram. I used to spend my nights and all here only. I used to love staying here only before. But now, since all the arrangements are there in the ashram, I go there. So this is the house, and this is the compound. This is typical Kerala. You can see the jackfruit there. So it's plentiful, it's bountiful actually. Behind also there is space, but I don't want to go there, because this area is again infested with snakes and all that. You can see it's all. I have not worn any footwear, that's why I don't want to go there now. I have done live here before also, but I thought I'll do it this time, because everything I covered in Kanhangad this time. So this is the house of Padiyar Swamiji. That's the place where he used to sit. This is his chair where he used to sit and give darshan as per his guru's orders. See, one of the sayings is here from Chidakasha Gita I was reading. Probably he used to follow this teaching a lot. He said, say what you do and do what you say. This is transparency. No hypocrisy, transparency in every act, in every word. So you can see flowers, because yesterday was Guru Purnima. Many of his devotees had come here. This is a very old altar. This was there during his time. Okay. And here is something. Mukambika Devi. Is Padiyar Swami. Here the photograph is a little more clear. So this is the ancient typical Kerala house. If you see, it has large verandas, open, very well ventilated verandas, and this is the red tile. I don't know what they call this. ಇದೇನಂತಾರೆ ಗಣಪತಿ ಅವರು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ಗೆ ಈಸಿಯರ್ Red oxide. This floor is red oxide. This is called. It's very cool and very calm. It's used in almost all the houses of Kerala. This is the internal place. This is his house. This is where he used to land. This was his bedroom. Switch only the light. Okay, there's a light here. Yes. So this is all his place only. Here you can see Jananand Swami, Padiyar Swami, Bhagwan Nityananda. He was a Krishna Bhakt. I could guess that because I'd seen some photos. This is his cot bed where he used to, supposedly he used to spend a lot of time. This is the washroom here. His footwear is still here. This is a fan usually used to fan yourself. Hand fan. This is staff. His shawl. And here some stuffs that he used to use. Walking stuff. Walking sticks. So if you come here anytime, Tina, I recall sitting in this bedroom here and with no thoughts, tears started pouring. Yeah, I remember, Tina, you were there. We were all together that time. I remember that trip. Very beautiful trip. So anytime you come here, guys, you want to even meditate here, you can sit in this room and any corner and just meditate. It's a very peaceful place. Entire place, anywhere you can sit and meditate. There is no restrictions. Ganapati is here. He will help you, guide you. But this is one of the places that I found is very calm, cool. So and then we have his altar here. It's dark. This is his old television set, which is probably he was using. These are all there from his time only. This is Bhagwan's idol. It looks very accurate. Oh, here is he. And here is someone. This is my Gurudev. This is his puja room where he used to actually do his puja all the time. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಗಣಪತಿ ಅವರೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಟನ್ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. This is the altar where he frequently sat and did his puja or his contemplation and reflection or mantra japa and all that. Here there previously was a paduka that was given by Bhagwan Nityananda. Previously it was there and it was kept in this place for many years. I believe, Tina, when you had come also you had seen that paduka, but it's no more. A very strange thing happened here actually. Very strange thing. Bhagwan's Leela, we never know what for. a lot of things were happening here. I don't want to get into details, but it was that time where there was a lot of commotions and regarding the place and all that. Let's not go into that. But at the same time, this house caught fire. And this part entirely burnt off. And the Paduka was burnt. Rest, the whole house did not, nothing happened, but that part went. And that time, the Paduka went off after that. It's very strange and mysterious. But that's Bhagwan's power and play. We don't know what's it all about. So this is Padiyar Swami'S house. That's Ganpati ji there. So I must tell you one thing here. From morning I came here and I was very much asking him for some books. Ganpati ji, I was like, some English book is there here. So he said no English book, Hindi and Kannada and Marathi. So I literally was find out. And then he went and he was, poor thing, searching in the cupboard and all that. And finally he took out some books. I don't know why I was doing that. But I had to open up this book, After everything, this book came into my hand. And this is how it happens. I just opened the pages and see, now also the same page opened. And this is what exactly came. Probably this is the message for all of us. So I just want to read this. And this is Bhagwan's message only. The chapter 18. I don't know who has written what. I have no idea of this book. But it just says Sadguru's influence over karma. It says once a devotee becomes of his Sadguru, no matter what, he always remains his. However far he may go, whomsoever he may go to, his Sadguru will never ever leave him or forgo him. Just before his Mahasamadhi on Guru Purnima day, 27 July 1961, Bhagwan Nityananda in his last message to his devotees said, once you give your hands in the hands of this one will never ever let you go, even if you try to. Sadguru remains committed to his disciples and devotees. In the cycle of birth and death of his devotees, lives after lives, a Sadguru takes care of his devotees till they succeed as a Jivan Mukta. How do you like that message? I was having very strange because I was in the caves, I was meditating in the cave today morning and I had a strange urge to call up somebody and to come here. So I called Ganpati ji, he said he's here. I said I'm coming, we'll do a live here. And I called up the person whom I had to call also. Those two things happened and I came here, that urge was there, find a book. I don't know why. There's no need of a book, but he literally helped me finding out all that from there. And this is how it opened. Exactly this page. So I believe this is a very, very strong message that had to come. And there are other things also here, but I don't know. By hand opened this book and this page, and now also you saw live when we opened this page, only opened up. So I believe whoever is watching this or whoever it is supposed to be, meant to be, this is the message that is supposed to come to you. So I think I'll ಇದು book ಇಡಬಹುದಾ ಬೇಕಾ ಓದ್ತೇನೆ. Okay, I think I'll keep this book and I'll read this. There must be something. I think it's written by Tatva somebody. It's good. I've never seen this book before. First time I'm seeing. Sorry. And even Swami Samartha is there. These both were at the same time. Almost the same time. So those who joined in late, and if you have missed that message, that's one reason I wanted to do this live and do this. And I had to read those particular things which I told you. I think I can read it. If not everything, I'll read a couple of it. Just give me a moment. So I think I'll sit inside there and do this reading because I want a little silence here. If you guys, anybody has time, you can just sit quietly with me while I just read these things off. And if you feel you don't have time now, you're in a hurry to do anything, you can please carry on. You can see this video later. So it's okay if nobody is there also, I'll just be reading this. This is like my reflection that I do. And these are verses from Sri Ramana, Bhagwan Ramana. This is more again on the Guru Tatva, and since it was Guru Purnima, I had come here for Guru Purnima. I wanted to do this also. So here is that book, Sagehood as an Ideal. So I'm just reading a couple of things from here. If you are available to sit down quietly and just listen to it, settle down in this, I believe it should help you. If not, you can come later and look at this recording. I don't know, I think I'll fix this somewhere so that... Let me see. Just hold on 1 second. Yeah, I'll sit here. That's better. It's quiet and calm chair. Yes, that's better. So this live is actually, I was anyhow supposed to sit here and read this on my own. So I am just trying to involve you also in that, whoever is interested. Amrut, I think book Jewels of Spiritual Wisdom. No, it's not there. That's what I asked him. What he did was Ganapatiji had put some old photograph. That blue color book. I know it was on this bed only. So I asked him, he said it's an old photograph that he had put. So it's not there. So I'll just begin reading this. If you're free, you can sit or you can move ahead. We'll see this. I'm just getting on this now. I won't talk anything further. I'll just be reading this. Just give me a feedback if my voice is clear, because I don't know, I'm on the fan. Okay, thank you. So these are words of Bhagwan Ramana. Sagehood as an ideal. The realized man finds himself in others. They are not different from himself. With wise men he is wise, but with ignorant men he becomes ignorant. With children he will play, and with the learned he will be scholarly. The meditation on the Guru's face or form is only for beginners. The advanced disciples should concentrate inwards on the self. This is equal to meditating on the Guru, for he is one with the self. The self-realized one is not to be regarded as an idler or a lazy drone. His powers develop incessantly, and in course of time he may develop and manifest occult powers, if that is his karma. This will be merely a sort of sport for the Jnani in the objective world, as he has no interest or particular purpose to serve. But if his prarabdha is otherwise, the siddhis do not manifest, and the wise man who habitually and by nature rests in the Atman does not seek any other path. When one has realized, a universal life current takes possession of him and uses him henceforth. His own separate will is gone. He becomes but an instrument in his hands. This is the real self-surrender. This is the highest Kundalini. This is the real Bhakti. This is Jnana. Again, a reminder, these are words of Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi, which I am reflecting on. A realized one sends out waves of spiritual influence in his aura which draw many people towards him. Yet, he may sit in a cave and maintain complete silence. We may listen on lectures upon truth and come away with hardly any grasp on the subject. But to come in contact with the realized one, though he speaks nothing, will give much more grasp on the subject. He does not ever need to go out among the public. If necessary, he can use others as instruments. Somebody asks, is a guru needed for spiritual progress? He says, yes. But the guru is within you. He is one with your own self. All lectures and books do little good and are of use only for beginners. To just point out on the way. The real service is done in meditation. One sitting still and silent, as mentioned in the poem by Tamil saint Thayumanavar, it can influence even a whole country. The force of meditation is infinitely more powerful than speech or writings. One who sits in silence, meditating on the self, will draw a whole lot of people to him without his going out to anyone. Even books like Bhagavad Gita, Light on the Path, must be given up to find the self by looking within. Even the Gita says, meditate upon the self. It does not say, meditate upon the book, the Gita. Now some question answers are there asked to Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi, and this is what he is giving answers. Question. Prajnananda has written to me to ask you if he can become your disciple. So somebody has come and approached Bhagwan and said that a certain Swami wants to become a disciple, so they have written a letter to him. Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi says, all these gurus and disciples exist only from the disciple's standpoint. To the self-realized, there is neither guru nor disciple, only oneself. The guru is the disciple. Only because you have body consciousness do you regard him as separate. Question. But a guru can give help? Ramana. Certainly. Yes, he can be of help. Question. Well, shall I say faith and love towards you are all that he needs to show? Ramana says, yes. By repeated practice, one can become accustomed to turning inward and finding the self. One must make incessant effort always until one has permanently realized. After that, all effort ceases. The state becomes natural. The Supreme takes possession of the man. with unbroken current until it has become permanently natural, your habitual state. Know that you have not realized the self, only glimpsed it. The soul that realizes the self may be connected yet with a working body, senses and mind, without, however, identifying itself with that body. Question. This is questions asked to Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. Is there something to be transferred at initiation? Bhagwan. Transfer means eradication of the sense of being of the disciple. The master does it. Not that the man was standing at one time and later metamorphosed into another. If the individual is sought, he is nowhere to be found. Such is the Guru. Such is a Dakshinamurti. What did Dakshinamurti do? He was silent. The disciples appeared before him. He maintained silence. The doubts of the disciples were dispelled, which means that they lost their individual identities. Such is the Guru, and such is a true initiation. That is jnana, and not verbiage usually associated with it. Verbiage means words. Silence is the most potent form of work. However vast and emphatic the Shastras may be, they fail in their effect. The Guru is quiet, and peace prevails in all his silence, and is more vast and emphatic than the Shastras put together. These questions arise because of the feeling that having been here so long, heard so much, exerted so hard, I have not gained anything. The work proceeding within is not apparent. In fact, the Guru is with one always. Tayu Manavar says, he is a saint, Tamil saint, O Lord, coming with me all along these births, never abandoning me and finally rescuing me. Such is the experience of realization. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita says the same thing in different way. We too are not only now, but we have been so. Somebody asks again the question to Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, is not grace the gift of the Guru? Bhagwan Ramana says, God, grace and Guru all are synonymous and also eternal and immanent. It is not the self already within. Is not the self already within? Is it for the Guru to bestow it by his look? If the Guru thinks so, he does not deserve the name. The books say that there have been so many initiations held by Hasta Diksha. Hasta Diksha means initiation by the hand, Sparsha. Okay, there is another Sparsha Diksha. This is initiation by touch. First is initiation by hand, the other is initiation by touch, and then there is mental Diksha, etc. Mental Diksha means via Sankalpa Diksha. They say that the Guru makes some rites with fire, water, japa, mantras, etc. And all such fantastic performances, initiations, as if the Shishya becomes ripe only after such processes. Guru's grace is worth more than study and meditation. It is primary. All others are secondary. The Guru's grace is like a hand extended to help you out of water. This is talk number 398 from Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. So somebody asks the question to Bhagwan Ramana, is divine grace really necessary? Cannot a man's honest effort bring him to the goal? Ramana says, yes, it is so. But the gift of such a grace is vouchsafed only to him who is a true devotee, or to a yogin who has striven hard and ceaselessly on the path. The Guru's grace is the same as God's grace, because Guru is not different from him. Talk number 29. Another question. I pray for your grace because human efforts are unavailing but without grace. Bhagwan Ramana answers, both are necessary. There is the sun shining, but you must turn and look at it in order to get a glimpse of the sun. Similarly, individual efforts are needed and necessary as well as the grace. Grace is within you. If it is external, it is useless. Grace is the self. You are never out of its operation. If you remember the Guru, you are prompted to do so by the self. Is not the Guru already there? Is there a moment when the grace is not operating in you? Your remembrance of the Guru is the forerunner of grace. The latter, meaning the Guru, is both the response and stimulus. That is the self and that is grace. There is no cause for anxiety. Talk number 251. Next question again. Asked to Ramana. But is not a Guru's grace or God's grace necessary for one's progress in vichara? Bhagwan says yes. But the inquiry that you are making in itself is itself the Guru's grace and God's grace. Question. What is the path? Ramana. The method may be anything. From whatever directions the pilgrim foregather, they must enter the Kaaba only by one passage. Question. People speak different methods. Which method is easiest? Bhagwan Ramana. The methods appear easy according to the nature of the individual. It depends upon what he has practiced before. Question. How long is a Guru necessary? Bhagwan Ramana. As long as there is ignorance. The Guru, otherwise God, is manifesting, guides the devotees, saying that God is in you and He is the Self. This leads to introversion of the mind and finally to realization. Effort is necessary until the state of realization. Even then, the Self should be spontaneously becoming evident. Till that state of spontaneity, effort in some form is required. Talk number 78. Question. How to meet appointed Guru? Bhagwan Ramana. Intense meditation brings about the consummation. The sage's glance has a purifying effect. If you understand your own reality, the rishis will be clear to you. Means, I am repeating this again. If you understand your own reality, the rishis' reality will be clear to you. There is only one master, and that is the Self. Sant Kumara, the one initiator, works through all the Gurus in the world. There is thus no difference between them and him. He bestows his teaching and initiation, which is the highest, that is, in his silence. To just add here, Sanat Kumara is one of the rishis who sat with Lord Dakshinamurti. So here Bhagwan Ramana is taking his example and he says it is Sant Kumara, this one rishi who was initiated by Dakshinamurti, who is operating through all the Gurus in the world. So he calls Sanat Kumara as the one initiator, the main initiator through which the initiator actually initiates through all the Gurus. That means Sanat Kumara is the main person who is initiating all the disciples through the Gurus. I never knew this. This is the first time I heard of it. You can do your own research. Sanat Kumara is one of the rishis. I think he was born of Brahma and he sat next to Dakshinamurti and took Gyan. So continuing, the question to Bhagwan Ramana: does the Guru give help deliberately? Ramana: Guru's grace works automatically and spontaneously. The disciple gets precisely the help he requires. Question: you say that the association with the wise and the service of them is required of the disciple. Bhagwan Ramana: yes. The first really means association with the unmanifest Sat or absolute existence. But as very few can do that, they have to take the second best, which is associating with the manifest Sat, that is the Guru. Association with the sages should be made because the thoughts are so persistent. The sage has already overcome the mind and remains in peace. His proximity helps to bring about such condition in others. Otherwise, there is no meaning in seeking his company. The Guru provides the needed strength unseen by others. Service is primarily to abide in the self, but it also includes to make the Guru's body comfortable and to look after his place of abode. Also, contact with the Guru is necessary, but this means spiritual contact. If the disciple finds the Guru internally, then it does not matter where he goes. Staying here or elsewhere must be understood to be the same and to have the same effect. A Jnani does not feel oppressed by his body. Are those Jnani who lived in the bodies and who wrote sacred books no longer Jnanis? Guru is the self after all, but manifests as external Guru at a lower stage of mind's development. A spiritually minded man takes God for his Guru, believing that God is everywhere. Later, God brings in contact with a personal Guru whose grace enables him to feel that his self is the reality and Guru. Deepak ji, please continue contemplating on this. Please do not try to join the videos here. It's a distraction. Next question to Bhagwan Ramana. Cannot a Guru give us realization as a gift? Ramana says, Guru is very powerful aid on the path, but your effort also is required. It is essential that it is you who should see the sun. Can spectacles see the sun for you? You have to see your own true nature. Question: will not a competent Guru be of great help to me? Bhagwan Ramana: yes. Go on working with the light you have now available and you will meet your Guru, as he will be seeking you himself. Who wants spiritual immortality? I am sorry, very sorry. I made a mistake here. I should reread it. Bhagwan says, who wants physical immortality? We should want only one thing, and that is to realize and be in the self. And to get off this body, why then prolong life in it? His Highness the Maharaja of my soul visited the Maharishi for 15 minutes, remaining silent almost the whole time. At lunch that day, when the devotees were talking about the whole time, at lunch that day, when the devotees were talking about the incident, Maharishi remarked, he is a highly advanced soul. He is Janaka. What need is there for talk when a knower meets another knower? It suffices for their eyes to meet in glance, where immediately they turn inward in response and recognition. Vocal conversation is then unnecessary. I just remember one of the verses. One mystic had told me the same example what Bhagwan just now said, that this Maharaja of Mysore went and met Bhagwan Ramana and they were all silent. He never spoke a single word. Maharaja of Mysore that day, the king. And after he went, Ramana remarked saying, he is a Jnani. Means he is at the state of Avduta. Jnani is almost self-realized and liberated. So he is Jnani, that is why he did not talk to me. When one knower knows the other knower, there is no need to talk. The establishment of the communication is done. This is what Bhagwan said. One mystic whom I had met, he told me one example of the same. He said there was an Avduta sitting in one place, and there was a madman who was running around in the town, laughing and playing and pulling this and doing a lot of mischief and all that. He was a madman. And then this Avduta is sitting, and everybody is telling, who's sitting near the Avduta, we are sitting here, and they are watching the madman. Look at him run around. And that madman comes running to this Avduta and says, do you know who I am? The madman asks the Avduta, do you know who I am? And the Avduta says, yes, you are a Jnani. Means, the Avduta said, you are an Avduta. So, the mystic was telling me, only an Avduta can realize an Avduta. This, I was reminded of this, because Ramana realized the Jnani and he said, the Maharaja of Mysore is none other than Raja Janak himself. He is a self-realized being. So, only Ramana could understand. That is why they communicated in silence. I'm just offing the fan here because I'll read a couple more before I leave because I have time till my train time. Okay, I'll just shift this. Okay, so Ramana is continuing here. What is this talk of Guru's grace? Does the Guru hold you by the hand and whisper something in your ear? You imagine him to be what you are yourself. Because you are with the body, you think he is also a body to do something tangible to you. But his work lies within. How is a Guru gained? If a devotee prays to God unselfishly, God, who is immanent, in his grace takes pity on the loving devotee and manifests himself as a being according to the devotee's standard. The devotee thinks that he is a man and expects relationship as between bodies, but the Guru, who is God or self-incarnate, works from within, helps the man to see the errors of his ways, guides him in the right path until he realizes the self within. After such a realization, he feels, I was so worried before. I am after all the self, the same as before, but not affected by anything. Where is he who was miserable? He is not to be found. Continuing. Ramana is speaking again. What should we do now? Only act upon the words of the Master. Work within. The Guru is both within and without. So he creates conditions to drive you inward and prepares the interior to drag you to the center. Thus he gives you a push from without and exerts a pull from within, so that you may be fixed at the center. Thus he gives you a push from without and exerts a pull from within, so that you may be fixed at the center. In sleep you are centered within. Simultaneously with waking up, your mind rushes out, thinking this, that and all else. This must be checked. Is it possible for the agent who can work both from within and without? Agent means the Guru here. Can he be identified without a body or with a body? We think that the world can be conquered with our efforts. When frustrated externally and driven internally, we feel that there is a power higher than man. The existence of the higher power must be admitted and recognized. The ego is a very powerful elephant and cannot be brought under control by anyone less than a lion, who is other than a guru in this instance, whose very look makes the elephant tremble and die. He's talking about the ego dying. We will know in the due course that our glory lies where we cease to exist. In order to gain the state, one should surrender oneself, saying, Lord, thou art my refuge. The master then sees that this man is in a fit state to receive guidance, and so guides him. This is talk number 398. The best instruction is heart-to-heart speech in silence. Question. What after long struggles one attains? Is the attainment of his own act or action of the spirit current? Bhagwan says, it is the action of the current. Question. Is it claimed that the grace of Ishvara is necessary? Bhagwan says, we are Ishvara. By seeing ourselves as him, we are having his grace. His nature is grace. Personal example and personal instructions are the most helpful aids on the path, while practice is better than books. Question. Does Bhagwan make the way easy for aspirants by himself becoming a kind of vicarious tapas, so that they need not go through the actual hardships? Bhagwan says, if that were so, everyone will easily reach the goal. No, each one has to work for himself. A higher power is leading you. Be led by the same. It knows what to do and how to do. Trust to it. Question. Have I your grace and benediction? Bhagwan Ramana. Why should you doubt it? Jnana is acquired by satsanga, or rather its atmosphere. Leave it to him. Surrender unreservedly, either because you admit your inability and require a higher power to help you, or investigate. Go into the source and merge in the self. God never forsakes one who has surrendered. Question. What is it? Bhagwan Ramana. I stepped unwittingly on the scorpion and hurt it. So it has stung me now in return to remind me of my existence. See, this is so beautiful. Something happened to Ramana and he was in pain, and somebody asked him, what is it? And Ramana says, I stepped unknowingly on the scorpion and now it has bit me. Because I had hurt the scorpion by stepping on it, it has bit me in return and it has now reminded me of my existence. Look at that. Question. Is grace necessary? Bhagwan says, certainly. But grace Maharishi about a certain verse of the... there was a disconnect, I am repeating. I asked Maharishi about a certain verse of the Namalvar embodying his cosmic consciousness vision. The Maharishi replied, I shall repeat some similar verses by another poet of the Tamil language. Attend to my ways of repeating the words and you will be able to understand, although you are a Malayali from the west coast. The verse has some reference to divine love. A shaft of sunlight fell through the window onto his face. Hardly had he read 2 lines when I noticed the beads of tears trickling down his face. Then he stopped repeating the words, as though he felt too keenly and emotionally the meanings of the words. There was an atmosphere of love around him. For 2 to 3 hours he remained silent. The rest of the poem unread, the book up on his knees, his eyes open in a trance of divine emotion. The Swami had formerly held the impression that the Maharishi was dry, cold, indifferent type. The experience showed how deeply the Maharishi can feel. One who sees the self has the power to help others, to help them see their own self. He is the real Guru, and that is the only initiation. Question to Bhagwan Ramana. Can the Guru make the disciple realize self by transmitting his own power to him? Bhagwan Ramana. Yes. Guru does not bring about realization. He merely removes the obstacles to it, for the self is always realized. The Maharishi's evidence taken by the local court in respect to the lawsuit by Perumal Swami in December 1936. Okay, not to bother much about it. Question. To which of the 4 ashrams do you belong? Ramana. To one beyond the 4 commonly known. See, they asked him about the 4 ashramas, that is the Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. So they asked him, which of the ashram do you belong to? And Ramana said, to the one beyond the 4. Question. Are there others besides yourself? He says, there may be. Question. You renounce worldly life, but here there is property in your name in Ramanashram. Why? Ramana says, I do not seek for it. Property is thrust on me. I do not love it nor hate it. Question. Is it given to you? Ramana. It is given to the Swami, whoever he may be. But the body is considered Swami in the world. This body dies. It reduces itself to myself. Question. Do you give Upadesha? Bhagwan Ramana. Visitors ask questions and I answer them as I know. It is for them to treat my words as they please. Question. Is it Upadesh? Ramana. How can I say how others take it? Question. Have you disciples? Ramana. I do not give Upadesh in ceremonial manner. For instance, keeping a kumbha, making a puja worship to it, and whispering a mantra to the person. He is saying he doesn't do all that. He may call himself my devotee or disciple. I do not consider anyone to be my disciple. I had never sought Upadesh from anyone, nor do I give ceremonial Upadesh. If people call themselves my disciples, I do not approve nor disapprove. In my view, all are alike. What can I say to them? I do not call myself a disciple or a guru. Question. Why do you approve the building of Skandashram on the hill, which was temple land, without previously obtaining permission from the authorities? Ramana. Guided by the same power which made me come and reside on this hill. Question. You renounced money. How is it donations? How is it that donations are being accepted by the ashram? Ramana. This practice grew up at a later stage because a few associates began to use my name to collect funds. I did not approve of their action nor check them, so it is going on. I do not desire that the contribution should be accepted, but people do not heed to that advice. I do not want to give ineffective advice. I therefore do not check them. Question. Why did you not sign your name? Ramana. By what name am I to be known? I myself do not know. People have given me several names from time to time since my arrival here. But the author of self-realization has given his answer to this question. Do not worry, people might get confused when I'm projecting this image and I'm talking about Bhagwan Ramana. That's why I'm taking Ramana's name again and again, so that they should not feel I'm talking something of Nityananda, but I'm keeping on his image to just let you know that they are all one. Question. You personally receive and touch one kind of offering, that is fruits. Why should you not receive money also? So the questioner is asking, when you can touch, somebody brings a fruit, you can touch and receive that fruit. Why not you receive money also? Bhagwan says, I cannot eat money. What shall I do with it? So that means he is taking the fruits so that he can eat. But money he can do anything. He cannot do anything. Question. Have you no objection to the length of stay of any visitors? Bhagwan. No. If I do not find it agreeable, I shall go away. That is all. Question. There are gurus for each ashram. This is the 4 ashrams we are talking about. Is there a guru for the stage which transcends the 4th? Bhagwan says yes. The questioner asks, but you do not admit one. Ramana. There is guru for everyone. I admit guru for me also. Questioner asks, who? Ramana says, the self. Questioner asks again, for whom? Ramana says, for myself. The guru may be internal or external. He may reveal himself internally or communicate externally. Question. Can those in this transcendent stage own property? Bhagwan. There is no restriction for them. They may do whatever they please. Sukha is said to have married and begotten children. He is talking about Rishi Sukha. So he says it's okay. Even the Rishi has married and had children. Question. Then he is a Grahastha like? Ramana. I have already said he is above the 4 recognized ashram. He is talking about sage Sukha or Rishi Sukha. Question. But if they can marry, own property, etc., they are grahast only, right? Bhagwan. That may be your view. Question. Can they convey their property to others? Bhagwan. They may not, or they may. All depends on their prarabdha. Question. Is any karma for them? Bhagwan. Their conduct is not regulated according to any rules or codes. Question. When visitors want to stay here, do they take your permission? Bhagwan. Permission from the management is permission from me. The visitors came here for me. The management is for me. Whenever there is mutual agreement, I do not interfere. When visitors come here and I admit them, will others dare to go against my wishes? My consent is implied. When Maharishi is engaged in giving Trataka, which means eye-to-eye darshan, to a devotee, sometimes he actually becomes cross-eyed. With this curious difference that the right eye looks steadily ahead, while the left eye gazes at an oblique angle, and the effect is rather weird and mysterious. First, he lifts his gaze to the ceiling and then slowly drops to the level before conveying Trataka. The cosmic mind, manifesting in some rare being, is able to effect the linkage to others of the individual, which has a weak mind, with the universal strong mind of strong inner recesses. Such a rare being is called Guru or God in manifestation. So this process might be a little confusing, but he is explaining about the eye to eye, the drishti diksha. Question. Is a man to engage in teaching his knowledge, however imperfect? Ramana. If his prarabdha karma be that way. The Jnani says, I am the body. A Jnani says, I am the body. What is the difference? I am is the truth. The body is the limitation. The Ajnani limits the I with the body. I is asleep in part from body. I in sleep is apart from the body. The same I now too is in the walking state. Though thought to be within the body, I is without the body. The wrong notion is not that I am the body. I say so. The body is insentient and cannot say so. Which one do you want me to repeat? Shivaya Advait? I know it's because I'm holding the mobile and I'm getting little distracted while reading. So I'll read this again. When the Maharishi is engaged in giving Trataka, which means eye-to-eye darshan, to a devotee, sometimes he actually becomes cross-eyed with this curious difference that the right eye remains looking steadily ahead while the left eye gazes at an oblique angle, and the effect is rather weird and mysterious. First he lifts his eyes to the ceiling and then slowly drops it to the level before conveying Trataka. The cosmic mind manifesting in some rare being is able to effect the linkage in others of the individual weak mind with the universal strong mind of the inner recesses. Such a rare being is called Guru, or the God in manifestation. I'll just take a snapshot of this and I'll post it here so that you can read it clearly. It needs a little more reflection, otherwise it's confusing. So what I'm reading is all about the Guru, the section which they have arranged for the Guru. So that is what I'm reading, and all this also came in between. Question: is not grace more effective than abhyasa? Abhyasa means constant practice. Ramana: the Guru simply helps you in the eradication of ignorance. That's all. Question: I am unable to make many visits to you as I want. Ramana: you need not come here. You need not come. You need not feel disheartened about it. Wherever you are, do not stray from yourself. Question: do you have thoughts? Ramana says, I usually have no thoughts. Question: but when you are reading? Ramana: then I have thoughts. Question: and when someone asks you a question? Ramana says, then too, I have thoughts when replying, not otherwise. See, this is a very beautiful, very casual conversation which we can understand what is the state of mind of a jnani like Bhagwan Ramana. And he is very honestly telling when the thoughts come to him and when it does not come. Krishna's statement that he is reborn from time to time whenever world needs is a sop to ignorance which mistakes him for the body. He is reality, hence unborn. Once after I prostrated, the Maharishi said, why do this? It is only formality. It is not necessary. I must answer any and every question. Unless I do so, I am not great. I am not endowed with television. God has not bestowed that gift on me. What shall I do? How can I answer all questions? People call me Maharishi and treat me like this, but I don't see myself as Maharishi. In the Christian Trinity, the Son of God is the Guru, and God manifest who explains to the devotee that the Holy Spirit is immanent everywhere. Question: how can I keep the idea of that real state always before me? Ramana: because you are able to keep that single idea, because you are not able to keep that single idea, because you are not firm, because you think you are a body. This is happening. The idea that you must go to Tirunamalai and see Maharishi is only a function of the intellect. No help is required. You are already in your original state. How can anyone help you to arrive where you already are? The help given is really to clear out your wrong notions. The great men, the Gurus, can help only by removing the obstacles in your way. A child and a jnani are in some ways similar. The child ceases to think of incidents after they have passed off. Thus, it shows that they do not leave deep impressions on the child's mind. so too is with a jnani. Question. Are saints who live in the remote forests and the Tibetan mountains still helpful to the world? Ramana. Quite so. Realization of self is the greatest help that can be rendered to humanity, no matter where the saints live. Question. Is it not necessary for the saints to mix with the people in order to help them? Ramana. The realized being does not see the world as different from himself. The help given by him is imperceptible, but it is still there. A saint helps the whole of humanity unknown to it. The silence of a sage gives permanent benefit and instruction to humanity, whereas lectures entertain individuals for a few hours without improving them. Silence is eloquence unceasing. Dakshinamurti is ideal. He taught his Rishi disciples by silence. Question. But would it not be more effective if he mixed with them? Bhagwan. There is no others to mix with. The self is the only reality. Question. But nowadays disciples must be created, sought after? Bhagwan. That is a sign of ignorance. The power which created you created the world and can take care of both also. Question. Do I need a guide to see God? Ramana. Who was your guide to see Ramana Bhagwan? With whose guidance do you see the world daily? Just as you are able to see the world yourself, so also you are able to see yourself if you earnestly strive to do so. Yourself alone being your guide in that quest also. Question. Is the Guru absolutely necessary? Ramana. Take Guru to be the real self and yourself to be the individual self. So as long as duality persists in you, the Guru is necessary. Because you identify yourself with the body, you think the Guru to be somebody. But you are not the body, nor is the Guru. This knowledge that you are the self and so is the Guru is gained by what you call realization. Question. How can one know a competent Guru? Ramana. By the peace of mind in his presence and by the sense of respect you feel for him. Question. What is the use of people like you who sit still doing nothing when the world is in great trouble? Bhagwan Ramana says, a self-realized being cannot help benefiting the world. His very existence bestows the highest good to the world. You imagine the Guru to be what you are yourself. Because you are with the body, you imagine him to do something tangible to you. His work lies within. The devotee thinks the Guru is the man and expects a relationship as between bodies. But the Guru, who is self-incarnate, works from within. The Guru creates conditions to drive you inward and prepares the interior to drag you to the center. Thus he gives you a push and exerts a pull from within so that you may be fixed at the center. In the sleep you are centered within, but on awaking your mind rushes out, thinking this and that. This must be checked. Okay, this is a repeat which has happened. I mentioned this, but it has come in the book again. Question. Swami Vivekananda speaks of the Guru transferring spirituality. Ramana. Is there a substance to be transferred? Transfer really means eradication of the sense of being the disciple. Question. Must the Guru have a human body? Ramana. Because you identify yourself with the body, you raise the question. First find out if you are the body. The Gita says that those who cannot understand the transcendental nature of Sri Krishna are fools, deluded by ignorance. The Master appears in order to dispel that ignorance. As Tayumanavar says, he is a saint, he appears to dispel the ignorance of a man, just as a deer is used to decoy to capture the lion in the jungle. He has to appear with a body in order to eradicate our ignorance, the ignorance of I am the body idea. Question: what is all this talk of masters, etc., guiding the destinies of the world? Ramana: had it not been said, would these people have diverted their outgoing minds from the world and turned inward to meditate? That is the purpose of the mention of the masters and their hierarchy in the theologies. By a rishi sitting in one place, all things can be done by him if he wills. He can bring wars on an end or end them. He can begin wars or he can end them. But he knows there is a cosmic and karmic process going on, so he will not interfere unwisely. What does a guru do? Does he hand over realization to the disciple? Is not the self always realized? By remaining in contact with realized sages, the man gradually loses the ignorance until its removal is complete. The eternal self is thus revealed. Realization is eternal and is not newly brought about by the Guru. He merely helps in the removal of ignorance. The disciple surrenders himself to the master. That means there is no vestige in the individuality retained by the disciple and thus no cause of misery. Without understanding it aright, people think that the Guru teaches the disciple Tattvamasi, that means thou art that. So they think that the Guru is teaching the disciple Tattvamasi as something to make him more powerful than anything else. The man is already vain. What will be the case if it is the very same? Okay, I'll read this again. The man is already vain. What will be the case if the very same I grows up enormously? He will still be more foolish and ignorant. This false I must perish. In its annihilation is the fruit of Guru's service. Question: how may I get nearer my master? Ramana: are you the personality? Does the self say the master is far away? Question: does education make a sage more useful to the world? Ramana: even a learned man must bow before an illiterate sage. Education is learned ignorance. Just hold on, I'll just check the time. Okay, it's 9:30, so I think I should pause here because we have to still have our breakfast and move to the place there. This is a beautiful reverence that I wanted to give. These are passages from the book Conscious Immortality, which I have been reading for the past 3 trips continuously. And luckily, exactly when I entered Kanhangad, this whole session on the Guru came up. So I thought it is meant to be read here or contemplated upon. So I thought I'll read this here before going from Kanhangad. And so I invited you while reading. If you wanted to join me reading, this is how I read. Not so loudly, but I hope it has been of benefit to you. So I think I'll Shivaya Advait, I'll just post that page so that you can just reflect on it, whichever you were saying, I'll look into that. And at home I'll go, I was thinking of this, that such kind of contemplation is good. I have very such deep scriptures which I keep reading. So from home I'll do this small half an hour readings where I am reading, and if anybody wants they can join, it will be live. So such very deep introversion thoughts, it might help. Whoever is interested in this, or I'll read the recordings also behind. So this will be all such deep, higher truth scriptures which, simultaneously it's like we are all reading a book together. And we just hope the divine helps us in that manner to get enlightened. Yesterday I was talking about the three aspects, the wisdom jnana, and next, while you are having the atma jnana, you have the atma bodha. You are realizing it, experiencing that jnana while it is being read or reflected upon. And while these two things are happening, the third prabodha happens, the enlightenment, the awakening of the wisdom. And this is just not jnana. I'm saying this is, if it is read in these three stages, even the reader and the listener, whatever, we all are reading and experiencing in the atma bodha, and that awakening is happening. Mind you, it is not just reading. These scriptures, these texts does alter our consciousness. It changes our consciousness. It clears our impurities. That is the purpose of reading these and higher scriptures. So, with lots of divine love and light, this is me signing off from Padiyar Swami'S house. So, this was read in Padiyar Swamiji's house, Agarwal, Shivanand. We would be blessed if you share the divine scripts while reading. Yeah, surely, I'll do that. I'll sure. Because these are very chosen scriptures. They're not just random, and which apply to our soul journey towards realization. I am focused more only on those kind of scriptures. So I'll let you know which scripture I'm reading every time, and if you are interested, you can join at that time. So I'm right now in Padiyar Swamiji's house. I'm sitting in his bedroom. So this is his place. I showed you the Samadhi also. If you have not seen his Samadhi, you can rewind the video and see it. You'll see it in the start of this video. I'm just switching off so that I'm leaving from here now. Oh, I think I'll show you that this also, that round table. Those who want to be here, I'll keep the video running so that this is his chair here. Ganapati avare hogona ellidra hogonwa alli round table ondu continuous togoteni. Okay, just give me a moment. You can look at this beautiful nature till then. ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಬುಕ್ಕು. ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಹೋಟ್ಲ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಓ ಅದೇ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಅದ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಏ ಬೇಡ, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಏನಾದ್ರು. ನನ್ನ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ 10:30 ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, 10:30 ಮ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್. ಏ ಅದೇನು ಬೇಡ, ಅದು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಓ ಮೈ ಗಾಡ್, ಅಯ್ಯೋ. ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಯಾವುದು ಅದೇನು ಬೇಡ ನನಗೆ. ಅದೇನದು ಬಾಳೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬೇಡ ಬೇಡ, ನಾನು ತೊಗೊಂಡೆ, ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ತೊಗೊಂಡೆ, 2 ತೊಗೊಂಡೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲೀವಿಂಗ್. ಯಾವುದು 1 ಇದೆಯಾ? ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 2 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಅದು ಓದ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಬರುವಾಗ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 2 ಅದು. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are out in nature. नाही होय त्याला. Wind chime. Okay, he's locking up. They're leaving. ಅದು ಛತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ? Oh, all of you guys are here. Very nice. I thought all must have gone by now. So there is where the Samadhi, I had shown you the start. This is towards the exit. So you'll see how close this round table also is from here. So this is Kerala. This road goes to the beach. Just after you come out. Bus bata hai. Side. Let me cross the road. So I was saying this is the road that goes to the beach. 2 kilometers from there, and this is the other road that goes to Nityananda ashram. So ashram is around 2 kilometers from there. Beach also is 2 kilometers from there. See, it's very close, the compound that you can see. This is that Samadhi place that we just had been inside, and this is opposite to that only is this Ayyappa temple. Inside this is the round table there. That's Ayyappa temple. So it's very close, opposite to this only. And this is where we came from, the ashram. This goes to Nityananda ashram. Just a little walk, even just 5 minutes walk, you will reach the railway track. You can even walk on the railway track. ಇದು ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರೇನು? ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದಿದೆಯಾ? So that's the Ayyappa temple there. And here is the round table. See, it's so close. They have preserved it well, good enough. I don't believe it was this kind of red oxide paint. They have painted it later. See, the original is somewhat here. This is how it was earlier. It's rained here. So this is where Bhagwan used to sit once upon a time, and let me tell you, this is the place where Bhagwan first arrived in Kanhangad. Before even going to the caves and working there, when he first came to Kanhangad, he had come to this place. I'll show you even one place there. There is a Bhadrakali temple, and there is a rock which they have preserved. He had come and sat on that rock first for many days before even going to Kanhangad, where the caves are right now. So he used to be seen sitting there. So what they have done is, it's a temple now, Bhadrakali temple. Inside that they have just preserved this particular rock. So this place was the place where he would come and sit. And often it is reported and recorded in the books also that he used to sit here and be in trance, and he used to be seeing visions from somewhere, and he used to spontaneously talk. This is happening in London. He was exclusively talking about the round table conference that is happening in London and all the details of that. and people were thinking he's chit chatting, just like gossiping something. And the next day you go to see in the newspapers, the same news has come. So that is the time they realized, oh my God, he was actually giving a live webcast like we are doing right now. So that's the round table. They preserved it. This is in a place called Kushal Nagar in Kanhangad. So ಅದು ಓಪನ್ ಇರ್ತದ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಬೇಡ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಡಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಬೇಡ. What I'll do is, the temple is that side because we are going to have our breakfast. So I'll stop the video now. I'll take a photograph of that place which I said, Bhadrakali temple, and I'll post it so that you know it. It's very close by from here. So I think I'll take your leave now. Those who have come late, you can just look back into this video. It's been nice being with you, and thank you for being here together. Yeah, Advait Shivaya. Thank you, Chaitrali ji, Namesh Shivaya. Okay, see you then. Much divine love and light to you. Stay blessed.